Yeah. Nah, nope. Profit. Yo, where you at? Where you at? My homie Lou on the mic. The mother hosts need to stop. They ain't doing it right. If you ain't turned into Lou, what you doing with your life? Conversations so sharp, it ain't your usual night. We got athletes, entrepreneurs, even celebrities. Politicians discuss nationwide discrepancies. Hardcore tackling issues in our community. Spreading on knowledge, creating an opportunity. Tune in live with Liteskin Lou. Tune in live with Liteskin Lou. Tune in live with Liteskin Lou. Tune in live with Liteskin Lou.
Liteskin Lou. Liteskin Lou.
Yes, indeedy. Yes, indeedy. Yes, indeedy. What's up, everybody? The Live of Liteskin Lou show is back. Welcome to the first NFL Sunday with Liteskin Lou and the crew. We have an all-star panel. But before I introduce these guys, I want to thank you guys for pulling up on us on a Sunday morning. I think Jay-Z said it best. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you here with us, and we truly, truly appreciate it. Now, first up on my panel, this guy I've known for about 2 or 3 years, and we've always talked football and sports. He's the biggest Eagle fan that you probably ever meet. He is none other than Phil Moorhead. What's up, my guy? How you doing, man?
Can't complain, man. Can't complain. Glad to be on the show. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, man. We got another guy that's coming on a little later. We're going to, when he comes in, we're going to bring him in just like I brought in my guy, Phil. Phil, thank you for taking this time. It's Sunday morning, man. It's no other place to be but to be in front of just football, man. It's been 5 months since we've had football, and it's here. It's here.
Yes, sir.
So
yes, sir.
I could have got, like Big Red said on Fire Heartbeats, I could have got anybody playing my band, but I wanted you, man. You know what I'm saying? Because I like the way you break it down every time I talk to you. Even though you're an Eagles fan and I'm a Cowboys fan, you can see I got the jersey on, the background. You can see you got the Philly hat on.
Yes, sir.
I look forward to breaking it down with you. Just talking football. A lot of things going on in football, but I'm gonna start with the beginning, man. Let's just start off by just talking about week 1, right? Sure. Week 1 was last week, of course, but we're gonna break it down. What stood out to you out of all the things that happened in week 1? What was the biggest thing that stood out to you, Phil?
Man, I think the biggest thing to me was the offenses were real kind of sloppy. I think that's when we take off one preseason game and then a lot of the starting offenses never really played, you could see like a lot of play, especially a lot of quarterback play was pretty sloppy. Obviously with the Eagles, it was a very up and down offensive game, and also the field wasn't that good. But man, you could just tell that a lot of the offenses weren't hitting on all cylinders. Even the 49ers game, you could tell like they could have beat down the Jets a little bit more if they were all on sync. So it's a little sloppy there. That's what I kind of noticed. We'll see what happens this week. I think a lot of those kinks are going to be fixed. Well, most of the offenses that should be doing better than what they did last week.
Yeah, you know what? I'm glad you said that. That was one of the reasons why the thing that stood out to me. Another thing that stood out to me was that the Ravens and the Chiefs, how close that game was, how it just comes down to 1 foot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because the Ravens was going for 2. It was no way they was going to let McCombs come back down and do what he's always done. So that's one of the things that stood out to me. And I'm glad we talked about this. It's going to lead me to my next question. Do you feel like, Phil, that preseason is not being taken seriously enough, and that's the reason why we're getting these slow starts? Because teams are not really peaking until like week 4, week 5, when they're getting their footing up under them.
No, that's a really good question. I know like a lot of coaches don't want to play their starters because of injuries. Like and a lot of them view like the joint practices as kind of a preseason equivalent. Obviously, it's not showing up on the field that way. I mean, it could be if they. I mean, it's still a small sample size because a lot of this is a recent change. Maybe if they changed it back, a lot of the philosophy gets changed. We could see how it doesn't really matter, just that teams need a ramp up period. But that's just I know a lot of coaches, they're just so afraid for their starters to get hurt. They just really don't want that to happen. So they're trying their best to not get them to play in the preseason. So again, we'll see what happens. But
yeah, I don't like it, man. And I think that I honestly, to answer my own question, I think it does affect the game because just think about,
right,
and injuries play a part too. Just think about
right,
Aaron Rodgers last year. He didn't play in preseason
yep,
like that.
yep,
And then he
yeah,
didn't play in this preseason. Last
yep,
preseason, he got the first game, he got hurt.
yes,
I just feel like you can't ask your body to do something because and you haven't been doing it.
yeah, I totally agree.
Football in regular season and preseason, the speed is just so different, man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
I
different.
actually, yeah, I agree with you. I think some of it does contribute to injuries when you don't play, when you don't get your body ready. Then yeah, like you said, Aaron Rodgers. I mean, Christian McCaffrey. Even I mean, I think apparently he's been dealing with that for a minute with his Achilles and calf injuries. So I mean, some people could say, well, CMC he got hurt, so he shouldn't play. But again, he's a running back and also just a Swiss Army knife player. That's different than like a quarterback who gets out that hasn't played at all. And then they look real sloppy. So that's maybe running backs probably should be left out of playing in preseason. I would say that because of the toll that has on their body. But I think everybody
Yes.
else, man, they need to play.
Yeah, man. I just want to see more football. I just want to see it played at a high level early because
Right,
when you don't play in the preseason, you don't get the high level of
right.
football that you need. You end up getting the injuries and
Mm-hmm.
having injuries to marquee players.
Yes.
And then down the line, you got to bring in the second behind
Yeah.
that player, and it just takes away from the game.
Right.
I got a question for you, right?
Sure.
Close games. This 5 close games. 4 of them. I wrote it down. The
Right.
Ravens versus the Chiefs. Of course,
Yes.
the Chiefs won 27-20. The
Right.
Eagles and the Packers. Your Eagles, your Philadelphia
Right.
Eagles,
Right.
34-29. That was a close game. The
Right.
Texans and the Colts, 29-27, and the Lions
Yeah.
on the overtime win. What game to you stood out the most?
Dang, that's really hard. Because I watched all of them. Man, I gotta say the Colts and the Texans game, man, because the Colts could have. It was such a nip and tuck game that the only reason why the Colts lost is because of Anthony Richardson's one interception, which happens, right? That
It
interceptions
happens.
happen, right? But that was the only thing. It was almost a perfect game defensively and offensively for both teams. It was just play calling was great. Everything was great. That was just a great game to watch. Yeah, man, that was to me. It was just an all around good game in my opinion. I mean, I'm not saying that the other 3 that you mentioned weren't, but that one to me just speaks to me that both quarterbacks were playing well, the offenses were playing well, the defense was it was good. That was a really good chess match, man. And I think whoever had the ball last was going to win, and that just it was what it was.
Yeah, damn. Yeah, you're right. And I'm glad you said it because that's what's going to make me choose the game that I wanted to stood out to me. The Ravens versus the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Just think, this is a preview of what's to come this year. It was last year with championship game, right?
Right.
AFC championship
Yes.
game.
Yep. AFC championship.
Yes. And it was the first NFL game on Thursday night. And it went down to the wire. Just think, the Ravens didn't play as well as they should have played.
Yes. Yeah.
And they were at the end of the day, they were still right there within a toe of the winning the game because they was going for 2. Like I said earlier, they was going for 2. They was trying to win it because they didn't want McCombs to come back down. So that's what I'm going with the Ravens and the Chiefs game. The Chiefs won 27-20. That was the way to start off the season.
Yeah. That game actually infuriated me because the Ravens went away from the run for a while. And that really was what are they doing? If you want Patrick Mahomes off the field, even if Derrick Henry's not, there was a couple of times where they were stacking 8 and 9 in the box. Fine. they're going to do that, then Lamar was running a little bit more in the second half, which is great, but they just went away from the run, and that just was like, what are we doing? Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, sometimes you got to be stubborn with that run feel. Even if you're getting stopped, you got to think your offensive line weighing on these guys. So in the
Right.
third and fourth quarter, when their
Yeah.
legs are like noodles, it's
Yeah.
like, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You got to do that.
Exactly.
Sometimes you got to be stubborn. That's why I like the old school coaches sometimes. They don't care about getting 2 yards of carry. What they're
Right.
looking at is the long game. Like, look,
Yeah.
dude, in the third and fourth quarter, your linebackers and your safeties and your corners, legs going
Right.
to be turning into noodles.
Right. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that definitely stood out.
Yeah.
That's lead me right into my next question. Well, and I hate to talk, but just these are the teams that's going to be there
Right.
in a long stretch.
Sure.
Will the Ravens and Lamar Jackson ever get past McCombs and the Chiefs?
Oh man. Oh man. So the Ravens are like my second team because growing up in Maryland, but they got to fix some stuff. It's small things. It's like in the game that we just saw in week 1 is kind of the impetus of like I want to say at some point, but they got to fix some things. They really, really have to run the ball better, like and often. When like a guy like Patrick Mahomes, you need to keep him off the field, and that's the thing. In the Ravens secondary, like they got Wiggins, I think, in the draft, the cornerback from Clemson. So they bolstered their secondary. So they have the personnel to do it, right? It's just I don't know, man. It's just sometimes John Harbaugh. It seems like the play calls he'll call, or he'll like override the offensive plays. It's just annoying. But this is different because now Lamar Jackson he can call checks on the line now. It looks like from week 1 you can see he's calling checks. He's calling his own plays and stuff. So maybe it'll be a little bit different because last year he couldn't do that. So
Yeah, he
we'll see.
couldn't last year. When I watched the game, I was like, damn. I was like, okay, he really getting it. Like he see what he see out there.
Right.
Okay, look, y'all
Right.
in this coverage right here. Boom.
Yeah.
I'm about to make the audible at the line, and it was
Right.
working for him. I
Right.
just feel like to answer my own question, I don't think they're going to do it this year. I think it's probably be some time before they're
Right.
able to get past the Chiefs, man, because the Chiefs, they could be playing bad for 3 quarters, man.
Yes.
And then they got that number 15 Superman that just goes in there and put
Right.
that cape on, man. And it's like,
Right.
dude,
It's hard.
it's hard, man. So
Yeah.
to answer my own question, no, I don't think
Yeah.
that they're going to get over the hump this year. And because when I think about this Ravens and when I think about Lamar Jackson and Mahomes, you know what I think about, Phil? I think about Tom Brady and the Patriots versus Peyton Manning and the Colts.
Right.
Just think
Right.
about that.
Right.
It took Peyton Manning years before he was
Yeah.
able to get past Bill Belichick, Tom Brady, and the Patriots.
Right.
Same here. Lamar Jackson has 2 MVPs,
Right.
and he's yet to get past the Chiefs because at the end of the day, we could talk about other teams, but at the end of the day, it's going to be the Chiefs that you got to get past.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And
I totally agree. I will say in defense of Peyton Manning, that Tom Brady always had. I think he always had a top 5, a top 10 defense. He's always had that. And if you have Bill Belichick was a defensive wizard, he was just so good at like getting at any quarterback's weaknesses. And so having Tom Brady as your quarterback also definitely helps. And Peyton Manning, I don't think, correct me if I'm wrong, anybody, but I don't think he ever had a top 5, top 10 defense with the Colts. I don't think that ever happened.
right.
So that matters. So I mean, did Peyton Manning have better weapons? Sure. Like, man, yeah, Marvin Harrison, Reggie Wayne, Dallas Clark. Yeah, the third wide receiver was always good. He had Gonzalez for a while, Collie, like all these players, but their defense, I mean, at best they had their edges, Freeney and Mathis and Bob Sanders whenever he wasn't hurt for half the year, and that was it. So, yeah, I'm just defending Peyton on that one because
I got you.
I think Peyton Manning actually, as a quarterback, is a little bit better than Tom Brady. I know people are going to kill me for that, but that's just how I feel. I just think Peyton Manning, as far as a quarterback, is that's 101. He's really, really good. But
Yeah, let's talk about this Detroit Lions versus the Rams, man. Sunday
yeah,
night, that was a good game because I like
yeah,
watching the games because if you think about it, these are previews of the games that we're going to see in the playoff game. I think the Rams
right.
going to be there when it's all said and done, and of
I
course
agree
the
too.
Lions. They were
Right,
home and they was able to get that overtime victory. I think it was kind of like the revenge bowl for your guy, the quarterback.
yeah, right.
I can't think of what's his name. I forget. I think of his name. Um,
Uh, Matthew Stafford, or I
Matthew
mean
Stafford,
Jared,
yeah,
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 yeah, Jared
yeah.
Goff too.
You
Yeah,
know, they switched off with
they
that. So
switched
for
them.
both of
Yeah.
them, it's kind of like a revenge game. What stood out to you in that game?
Oh man, the one that the Rams are going to be better than people think. I always thought that. And that the Lions they're really, really, really good, and I'm really happy for Jared Goff too.
Yes,
Like because they just threw him away after that Super Bowl. Like he was trash, and he wasn't. I mean, when did they? It was like his third year or something like
yes,
that. Like so they weren't patient enough. I get why they did it because Matthew Stafford. They were just a quarterback away at the time. So I get why they did that, but I'm also really happy for Jared Goff, man. Like they sent him to the Lions to die, his career to die, and it didn't. And also having Campbell as your head coach, man. Like I like both teams a lot. Like I really like Matthew Stafford, I like McVay, and I really like Jared Goff, and I like Cam. I like just like the whole setup is awesome, and their wide receiver core is amazing. So they're going to be a problem for a lot of teams.
yes, they
Um,
are. I like the
yeah,
fact that this what stood out to me with this game. The fact that the game was nip and tuck down the stretch, man. It
right.
went into overtime, and it just went down to the wire.
Yeah. Yeah.
Quarterback came in, running back to play. They made plays when the
Right.
plays needed to be made, man.
Right. Right.
Walk off, overtime touchdown. It
Right.
don't get no better.
Yeah. It was
It
awesome.
just it just let us know that the NFL football is back. Week
Right.
one, man. I was excited, man. I look,
Right.
I ain't even gonna hold you. I fell asleep right when they went to overtime. I was like, I can't do it. I'm sorry, I gotta be there
Right.
on the corner. And Phil, I ain't gonna lie, I went straight to sleep, man. I ain't even gonna lie. I went
You're like, I
straight to
can't do it.
sleep. Nah, I couldn't do it, man. I couldn't
Yeah.
do it. Um,
Yeah.
change lanes a little bit, man.
Sure.
NFL new coaches, right? You
Mhm.
had, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You had 7 coaching changes last year. It was a lot of dudes getting fired, man. I almost put my resume in the NFL, man. Coaches is getting fired, man. But I'm just curious of what coach you think. I'm gonna name these coaches. You let me know what coach you think gonna be the most successful. You got Jim Harbaugh, Los Angeles Chargers, Antonio Pierce, the Vegas Raiders, Raheem Morris, Atlanta Falcons,
You're right.
Jared Mayo, New England Patriots, Dan Quinn with the Commode Commanders, Brian Callahan, the Tennessee Titans, and yeah,
Mhm.
that's about it. Who do you feel like is gonna be the most successful coach this year?
Man, I don't think any of those, to be honest. Oh man, I think the best of them would be the Falcons coach with Raheem Morris, just because they're in a weak division. But all the other guys, man, it's tough sled. I want to say Antonio Pierce because I really like him. Like I really, really like Antonio Pierce. I think he's a great X's and O's coach. And I also like Jared Mayo because he's no nonsense, and they beat the Cincinnati Bengals. Like that's a pretty big deal, right? But they're just, all
Yes.
of those guys are in most of them are in such a precarious situation at the moment. I, yeah, I would say Raheem Morris just because the Falcons are in a weak division at the moment.
Okay.
The whole division is weak, but
Now I see you every morning, so I'm gonna hold you. I'm
right,
penciling this in right here. I see you every morning, right?
right, right,
I'm gonna
yeah,
pin you to this.
right.
But no, I respect that, man. I respect that. I'm gonna go with Jim Harbaugh because I look at
Uh,
it like, okay, I'm gonna go down the line. I just feel like he has the best quarterback,
okay,
and out of all these coaches I just named, the teams I just named, I think the Chargers have the better chance because they have the best quarterback, Hubert. You know what I'm
Herbert.
saying? Yeah, Herbert. Yeah, I feel
Oh,
like yeah.
you, I, I think Herbert is overrated. I just think a lot of he's gone to the playoffs how many times? Like twice. and it lost twice. Like he has a prototype of a body, right? He's 6'4", he's huge, but man, I just don't know. I don't know, man. I just think that Herbert he reminds me of Philip Rivers. He really is like the Chargers can't get out of their own way with good court. Like I liked Philip Rivers, but I'm like, he just couldn't get over the hump. Talk about somebody who can't get over the hump. I mean, Lord, like I don't know. That's just what it reminds me of. But I understand why you're saying that. I get it.
Yeah, you know I'm gonna hold you to that, man.
Yeah,
Every
I know.
one of them come right over to your desk, and I'm gonna tell you about this. But no, I can understand what you're saying, though, man. I just feel like Philip Rivers was a great. He's a Hall of Fame quarterback, but he never got over the hump, and I could see the similarities. But I just think, with all that being said, he's still the better quarterback of the ones that I just named.
Sure,
yeah,
sure, I agree. Yeah, totally agree.
That's right. So if y'all just getting in here, man, y'all better hit that like button. I'm in here chopping it up with my guy, Phil. Man, me and Phil, we talk football all the time. He's an Eagles fan. I'm a Cowboys fan. The NFC East is in the building. We got people, man. We got people just pulling up. I got my man, Damone Mills, my big bro, Jew, JB, Mike Harbor, my cuz. What's up, big cuz? How you doing? My man, Skip. Got Kevin. Man, my brother Mike in the bed, everybody in here pulling up, man. It's football Sunday, and we got this thing going, man. Money. Before Dallas versus Cleveland last week, Dak Prescott signed that huge contract. What was it? 4 years.
It's like 240.
240, 239 guaranteed.
Yeah. Something like it's something wild.
Yes.
Let me look at it.
That's a huge contract, man. Don't quote me. I don't have my research. Let me where I'm at. Yeah, 240 guaranteed. That's the richest contract ever.
Yeah.
And Dak Prescott has not taken the Cowboys to where they need to be. So I'm gonna take lead on this one, Phil, because that's my team. You can see I'm wearing the star right here in my background. I'm a Cowboys fan, so I'm gonna take lead on this one. I was upset when it first happened because I just feel like he hasn't got over the hump. But then I start thinking, Phil, and if I'm wrong, you tell me.
Sure.
Other than Mahomes, 3 Super Bowls out in 4 years, what other quarterback that you can say that's making the kind of money that Dak's making that has more success than him?
The Dak Prescott?
Yes, than Dak Prescott.
Oh man, it's a short list.
It's a short list.
It's. I think Dak Prescott gets, because he plays with the Cowboys, gets a tad too much grief.
Yes.
Because like you said, it's a real short list. I mean, I'm going to be a homer. I like Jalen Hurts went to a Super Bowl, right? Recently, but you could say Burrow, but I think Burrow gets a lot of passes. So
he does. That's what I'm saying. All these quarterbacks getting passes.
Yeah.
Honestly, think about it.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, just think about it. That's the going rate for quarterbacks now.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You got guys who probably is not even in the top 10 making 40 million. That's the going rate now.
Yeah.
So you can't be mad at a guy for getting paid.
Yeah.
Dak Prescott gonna be the highest paid for about 6 months. I guarantee you that.
Yep.
The next man up is gonna get their money. That's what's going on. These owners understand you have to have a great quarterback to win the Super Bowl, pretty much.
Right. Yeah.
So
I mean, Daniel Jones is getting paid $40 million a year himself. He sucks.
Yes.
He's horrible.
Yes.
He's getting paid $40
Right.
million.
So for me, I feel like I could say he's worth it. If you look at it from those terms, I'm just curious of what you feel.
Well, I mean, it's kind of it doesn't even matter what I feel as far as Dak Prescott. It's like you said, it's the market. I've said this before. I think we've talked about it offline. Like Dak Prescott, they should have signed him last year. And Jerry Jones does this. He did it with CeeDee Lamb too. Like you're not paying your players. These are like surefire players too, right? You're not like a clown franchise like the Jets or whatever, who they'll pay players and they shouldn't do it. These are surefire players. Like just pay these people, will be cheaper in the long run. Let's use the Eagles for example. AJ Brown's contract was he had 2 more years on his contract.
Yes.
They just re-upped him because Howie knew that the wide receiver market was going to go crazy. and you sign AJ Brown, Devontae Smith before it happened. That's just smart. Why would you wait for like? I mean, as anybody who has watched The Wire, the price of a brick's always going to go up, right? So
Absolutely.
that's just how the NFL is. So you need to pay your players, even if you have like a thought like maybe not. Just pay them. Just pay them. It's going to be cheaper in the long run than in the short term, and you're going to save a lot in the cap. I think the Eagles have like a $22 million in cap space, and people are like, how does that happen? Well, because Harvey Roseman pays his players before things go
The
wrong.
market hit.
Yeah,
Like Jerry Jones don't do that. He be
no,
sitting there waiting like, oh, okay, I'll buy down like you're at the auction. Going once,
right,
going twice. You gotta pay
right,
this guy. You can't be the owner that sets the market. You can't.
right,
You
right,
can't.
right.
You can't do that. But
Like if you're in a weird space like the Vikings, where you just have the best player in the league, the best wide receiver, it don't matter. That just is what it. You're going to have to pay that, right? It is what it is. But or the Chiefs, they have the best quarterback. They're just going to set the market, period. But if you don't have that, which is most all the 31 other teams, don't be an idiot. Just pay the player. Just pay him. Just do it.
that's right. You heard what Phil say. Just pay him the money. That's right. That's right. And I got somebody that I'm about to bring on, and she about to hand out some money. You know what I'm saying? She about to do what she do. Before I bring this young lady on, I'm gonna give her a nice little introduction. She is the co-host of the Live with Light Skin Lou show. She's my baby. She's my sweetheart. She's my right hand. She come in. She got an announcement. I'm about to bring her on. The one, the only, the lovely Kiki. What's up, Kiki? You got something on your mind? I can see it in your face. What's going on? Tell the people out there
What's up,
going on.
y'all? So we're gonna take a quick football break and talk boxing. We just wanted to thank everyone for checking out our website this week that we launched, and we had a free giveaway. So we said that we would announce the two winners on today's show. So we just want to announce the winners real quick. And if you haven't checked out our website already, make sure you do that at livewithlightskinlooshow.com. We have merch on there. You can see the show. You can see all about us. It's a nice website, a nice website. And shout out to October Moon Branding Agency for designing it for us. So again, it's at livewithlightskinlooshow.com. So now what we've all been waiting for, we want to announce the two winners. And the two winners are, so the first winner is King Isaac, also known as Raymond, Isaacs.kingdom on Instagram. He won tickets for the No Excuse promotion Pro Box TV Prospect Show October 19th at Rosecroft Raceway. He won one free ticket to see ABO Super Featherweight Regional Champion Frankie, the franchise, Francois Scarborough Jr., Ben Johnson, Jordan Roach, Dave Whitmire, Eric Hernandez, and Cornelio Phipps. And I think they just added Max Garland.
Max Garland, yes.
So, King Isaac, thanks again for your support, and you won your free ticket to that card on October 19th. And then we got our second winner is Tyron Finney, the legend 3347 on IG of the In This Corner podcast. Thanks for your support. He won tickets for the 11-2 Davis boxing promotion. So he won a ticket to see ABO Super Bantamweight Champion Irvin Pound Fuller the third. The main event is also going to be two-time ABF champ, one-time UBO champ, one-time UBF champ, Jakeem Hutcherson. You got Jeffrey Yu on that card, Brandon
Yes.
Quarles, Marlon Smith making his pro debut. You got KC Willer, Najee Brown, Tremaine Fuller, Tabish, and Nick Isaac. And I think it's more to be announced on that. And you also won a free t-shirt too, Tyron. So congratulations to both of you guys, and thanks for y'all support. And again, make sure y'all check out our new website, livewithlightskinlooshow.com. Make sure y'all are following us on all our social media channels, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, now known as X, TikTok, Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. What else? I think that's it. And yeah, subscribe, follow, all that, all our social media handles. Live with Light Skin Lou Show.
That's right, because Live with Light Skin Lou show was in the building. We going places, and we go to the top. We taking y'all with us. That's right. So if y'all got y'all hands together, y'all put that cheeseburger and beer down, and y'all give it up for my baby, the one, the only, the lovely Kiki.
And that's my time. I see y'all in the chat.
All right, baby. I see you in a little bit.
See y'all later.
I want some bacon and eggs too when I'm done. Yeah, just do that. Oh man, but yeah, man, we appreciate that, man. These two guys they won tickets to the fight, man. It's gonna be great. Both of them guys, they logged on to our page, man, our website, and they won tickets. See, that's what happened when you do the right thing. That's what happened. Nashi Sugar She Smith just showed up. What's up, young fella? Now, Phil, I ain't gonna let you out here this easy, Phil. I got some more questions in here. And this next question is right for you. It's right up your alley because this is your team. The Philadelphia Eagles acquired Saquon Barkley in the offseason.
Right.
And they brought him in. His first game had a total of like 150 yards out of the backfield, out of the on the pass.
Right.
He was it 2 touchdowns? Three touchdowns. That's right. Don't discount that. 3 touchdowns.
Right.
So my question to you is, what effect will Saquon Barkley have for the Eagles? Do that help y'all Super Bowl chances?
I mean, if the Eagles did what they were supposed to do last year, they had DeAndre Swift, who was pretty good himself. They should have done a lot better last year. I just think that Harry Roseman saw there was a couple things. It's more than just Saquon Barkley. I mean, Saquon Barkley helps. They had a really weird offense last year with no motion. So they motioned the least in the league, and it was a very stagnant offense, right? So it was more or less, if anybody really studies football, if anybody knows Cliff Kingsbury's offenses, it's kind of that, right? But Cliff Kingsbury's is well, my players are going to beat yours, right? And we have the personnel to do that sometimes, but at some point you're going to have to switch up. You got to switch it up. You can't always my players are just going to beat yours because mine are better, right? Because you're going to catch on tendencies, and that's what happened at the end of the year. All the teams caught on the Eagles' tendencies, and they kept making. And Jalen Hurts was hurt in the middle of the year. He doesn't want to say it, but he was. He was hurt. You could tell him.
Yes, you could tell he wasn't moving like he's supposed to.
Yeah. So you had that, and Jalen Hurts wasn't good against the blitz. So those were the things, even beyond Saquon Barkley, that they had to fix. Jalen Hurts had to get better at the blitz. You saw with Green Bay, he was way better against the blitz. But Saquon Barkley is just a safety valve, to be honest, right? So if something's just not going well, just give Saquon Barkley the ball. I think the Eagles are kind of taking a page out of the San Francisco 49ers. Okay, they got Christian McCaffrey, who's a gadget player. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to pay him and see what happens. I think that's what the Eagles are thinking. Let's pay him a little bit more. Another market for running backs is not as good, but let's just do that. And I think for all the running backs, that definitely did help. Because I think DeAndre Swift even got paid from the Bears.
He did. He did. I feel like it's a great asset to you guys. I ain't even gonna lie, Phil. This tastes like vinegar in my mouth to say this, man. Because I knew last year when the season was over, the Cowboys needed a running back. They got rid of Zeke. Zeke past his prime. I don't know what they was doing bringing him back, but that's a story for another day.
Yeah.
It was 2 guys I had on my radar. I'm tapped into football too. So I've been seeing that the contract expired. They don't want to pay this player that. So this guy's going to be available. I wrote down Derrick Henry, former Tennessee Titans, now with the Ravens, and I wrote down Saquon Barkley because I knew they didn't sign him. They signed Danny the Dimes from New York did, and I said he's going to take that shit personally. So I wrote it down. I said he is going to be open, and we didn't go for neither one of them. Man, when I woke up that morning and seen that he signed with the Eagles, man, I was like, Florida Evans, damn, man. I was so upset, man, because we needed that.
Right.
Say that to say the Eagles did a good job of filling in that spot. Like you say, he's not there to be the home run hitter, but he
Right.
can hit a home run field.
Exactly.
He's the type of person, he can have 5 carries for 20 yards,
Yep.
10 carries for 40 yards, and then he'll just break that one open.
Boom.
And you
Yeah.
got to think, Phil, that's going to keep the defensive coordinators up at night because
Yes.
it's not, he's going to break it. He's
Right.
going to break one. Every
Right.
other game, he's going to break one. And you got to
Right.
calculate for that. And I think that's going to help the Eagles in a way where I felt like they lost their identity last year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a problem. It's a problem when we keep the turnover for offensive and defensive coordinators.
Yes.
That's the biggest deal too. Like this is the third iteration of offensive defensive coordinators. So I know Vic Fangio, they were trying to hire him last year, but what was going on in Miami, they couldn't do it. So yeah, obviously the Eagles defense suffered for that. But Nick Sirianni was too much in the offense last year, and he kept trying to change stuff, which pissed off Jalen Hurts. And like the stories that you heard last year, as far as why Jalen Hurts and him were clashing button heads, because they just saw the offense differently. I forgot the OC's name. I think it's Brian Johnson. Brian Johnson actually knew Jalen Hurts when he was like in middle school, so they were really good tight. And Nick Sirianni kept trying to change things, and then he got fired. So Jalen Hurts really didn't like that. So, but I think it's gonna be all right now. I mean, Jalen Hurts seems to be like a decent human being at least. So
Yeah.
I going back to the running back thing for the Cowboys. I can't believe they didn't run for Derrick Henry because I think isn't Derrick Henry from Texas?
And he got a house in Texas. Man, we was doing good today. Now I got a headache now, man. I'm reliving this whole nightmare all over again. Like this dude, Phil, he has a house in Texas. And you know when he signed with Baltimore, you know what he said that made me even madder? This Bama said, they never even called me.
That's insane.
That's insane, man. I'm like, dude, come on, man. But you know what, man? Enough of that, man. We gotta move on. I gotta drink some water to get this nasty taste out my mouth. Hold on, man. Hold on.
I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry.
But no, you just spitting facts, man. I'm just a poo butt when it comes to stuff that we should have had. My next question is just something that happened last week, and I'm pretty sure every human being was disgusted that watched. Just not even about football; it's about life. Tyreek Hill was briefly detained shortly right before the game, man. The way they handled this guy was like he was a convicted killer. I've seen other races chasing the police with a knife, and they still didn't do nothing to him. So my question to you is, what was you thinking when you seen it happen? And just your thoughts on it, period.
Sure. You know, I think because I want to be very careful with what I say. I have a couple of buddies of mine who are police officers or used to be police officers. I've got family members who have either been in the police or in the military. So again, I want to be very careful with what I say. But I'll say this. The Tyreek Hill situation is kind of a reminder that we need there's things that just need to be fixed within not only the country, but just, the police forces in general. The way policing is done in the United States is just absurd to me. Because it's so localized, right? So one police station has different standards than the other. And then also if the one police officer gets fired from another place, they can get just picked up by another precinct, even if they do something really wrong. So I think there needs to be a more federalized look at policing, to be honest, and much more of a standardized thing. And we still have too many issues of this with the Tyreek Hill incident where I know he was he driving like over the speed limit?
The report said that he was speed. They don't have him on the clock. They didn't clock.
So they don't even have him.
But they said he was reckless. He was recklessly driving, swerving, and they said he was speeding and reckless driving. So I get it.
Yeah, I get the context, but even with the police cam footage, you're pulling them up the damn car and all, like it's a bad look. It just doesn't look good. I'm sorry, it just doesn't.
It doesn't, man. I know you got friends and that there's police officers. This was a black eye when you talk about the communication between civilians and police. We spent so much time. Just think about all the incidents that's happened over the years. it just weakens the what's the relationship. And
Yes,
something
right,
like this, and then we go a long time and strengthens it a little bit, and then it's just set us back. My take
exactly,
on it is it was unnecessary.
right,
At
right,
some point, you realize like this person, not that he's a celebrity, but it's like this dude on his way to the thing. It
right.
was no reason for you to rough him up like that when he
No,
didn't cause no harm.
right,
So it's just
right,
another black eye for police and
right.
civilians, man. I was really when I first seen it, I was like, I'm just going to get the facts first.
Yep,
And
yep.
then once
I'm
the
just going.
facts came out, you make your you make your decision on how you're gonna feel and which way you're gonna go.
Right.
Another unfortunate event. But yeah, I'm gonna turn the corners a little bit. I'm gonna see what you think about this film.
Uh-oh.
Special teams rule change, man.
Right,
It threw me off the kickoff
right.
when they kick the ball off the opposing team. Both they gotta sit there and wait for the
Right.
ball to hit down. What's your thoughts on that? What was you thinking when you because you know it happened, but
Yeah,
when you first see it?
it's it's weird, but if the NFL is trying to make the game safer, I get why they're doing it that way. I mean, if anybody's been to like a live game and you see like how the kickoffs of old were, it's like an earthquake almost because this guy's flying down the field. So I and the last few years, a lot of teams are opting not to run the ball out because of how dangerous it can be. They're like, hey, or rather just get on the 25 and or the 20 and whatever, right? So I think the NFL, one, they want it to be safer, and two, they want more kick returns. So it's been a little bit of a bump from week one to see. It's just week one. We'll see what happens in the subsequent weeks. I think there was like at least 1/3 of the kickoffs were returned versus last year it was like 12%. It was like super low. But it's weird. It's a weird concept. I will say it is odd.
Yeah, it was. I was like, what? I was like, what the hell is going on? I said, was it a penalty on the play? And
Right,
I had a couple of beers when I was watching the game, so I was extra slow.
right,
But I think whatever it does, whatever is needed to change the game, whether safety or speeding the game up a little bit for more points, because I'm a more offensive guy than defensive, so I'm all for it.
sure.
I
Yeah.
just wanted to test to see if you knew that. Phil. I see you
Oh, yeah.
you on point. I can't get
Oh,
nothing
yeah.
past Phil.
I know my football.
That's right. And that's why I handpicked you. Like I said, I could have got anybody to play in my band, but I wanted you, champ.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it. But
Thank you,
week
man.
two,
Appreciate it.
man, week two, you got a lot of games coming up.
Right.
I'm just thinking, like, what game do you have on your radar? If you need help, I can read them off to you. If you don't have your schedule,
Oh,
what game
I
are
got
you
it up.
looking forward to the most?
The game I'm looking forward to the most. Can I cheat and pick two?
You can pick two. You can pick two.
All right. So my first one is the Detroit and Tampa Bay game. So that one, it's just going to show like if Tampa Bay's fugazi or not, right? Because
Yes.
they play. Who did they play last week? It was
They played the
Commanders.
Commos. They played the
Yeah, the
Commos. I'm
Commanders.
sorry, the Commanders. My bad. Oh, my bad. That
Dude,
that didn't
dude,
come out
you're
right.
wrong
My
for
bad, y'all.
that. But yeah, it's because they played a really bad team. That's why the Dan Quinn thing is just like I just think they're just gonna be bottom feeders for a while. And I like the quarterback they got, but there's just a lot of problems there. But I just want to see how Baker Mayfield plays. I'm so glad for him too. The Browns screwed him over. I'm very happy for him. Like, I'm very happy. I hope he plays well. I hope Deshaun Watson gets kicked out the league. I hope all of that happens. I hope the Browns suck for 10 more years because they just did him dirty.
Yeah, they did.
And then the next game is Kansas City and the Bengals because kind of going back to the Burrow thing, I just think he gets so many passes. He does beat the Chiefs, though. He does beat them. He's like 4-1 against them. But he just gets so many passes. Oh, he was hurt for 2 years, but he's good. Oh, he does this and that. They have slow starts. I'm tired of that. I wish Dak Prescott, Jalen Hurts, all these other quarterbacks, they get nitpicked for stuff. I wish they got him like that. I wish
Yes.
he was more or less picked on like that. And I think Chris Canty on ESPN did that a couple of days ago. And people were like losing their minds. I'm like, he spoke facts. Like Joe Burrow's been hurt for 2 of the 4 years he's played.
Mhm.
He's been to 1 Super Bowl, which is good, right? It's still good. and they've had slow starts in the beginning of the season. So what are we talking about? Like, come on. I don't know.
I can tell you what, I got this one day, and I'm not saying this because I'm a Cowboys fan. I'm looking
Sure.
forward to the Cowboys. I'm gonna pick two: the
Okay.
Cowboys and the Saints. I'm
Right.
picking them because I want to make sure that wasn't a fluke.
Right. Right.
Cleveland is a wreck right now, so that could have
Yes.
been a game that wanted to give me game. So I want to see how they play against the Saints. The Saints look good last week. They look like they getting back to their old self. So I'm looking forward to see if my Cowboys can bounce back and win 2 in a row. And also, I want to see the Ravens and the Raiders. I want to see because
Okay.
you know how it is, Phil, when you lose that gut wrenching game. You lost to
Mhm.
these guys 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
Last year in the playoffs, and then this
Yeah.
year the first game of the year. So for
Right.
me, I want to know if they got the heart and the guts to respond and come back and beat the Raiders. So that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah. No, that's a good pick, especially last one. I was thinking about that because when you like you're like, a lot of players don't say this, but you like circle this game, like this is the game that I'm really like focusing on, and then you forget about, the other opponent. So that's actually a good pick. I didn't really think of that.
Yeah, you got
But
to
yeah,
bounce
I mean
back,
the
man.
Ravens could, yeah,
You got to
they
bounce
could lose that
back,
game.
man.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Tua, quarterback
Yeah.
for Miami Dolphins, man. I'm gonna go to that. I can't get out of here without mentioning that. This is like
Sure.
his 4th concussion, man. I'm talking
That we know of.
yeah, that we exactly that we
Yeah.
know of that's on
Right.
surface.
Yeah.
He got hurt again
Yeah.
Thursday. Was it Thursday night? The
Yeah.
Buffalo
Thursday
Bills and
night.
Miami
Yeah.
Dolphins. Do you think he should
Yeah.
hang it up? What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like he's not going to, because like football, when something's your life, like you've done it for, since you were a little kid, it's your life, right? I don't think he's gonna give it up. I don't think he wants to. And then also the money thing too, man. He signed like a pretty big deal. But beyond the money, it's like football is his life and stuff. I but as far as like a family thing and your your what's the word? The quality of life after football, like
Yes,
that's gonna matter, man. Like and having and the hit that happened, it was just a regular hit. It wasn't like it was Damar Hamlin of all things too, and hitting him in his chest. I mean, all that was
that freaked
crazy,
me out,
right?
man. That
Yeah.
freaked me out.
So it was like, oh no, like Damar Hamlin should you be hit? Like? I mean, Damar Hamlin's thing was freaky, like a freaky accident, but man, like, and it's just the way he like when he gets when he seizes up, it's just scary, man. Like he should seriously think about if he gets another one like that, just it's over. Like it should be done. But he's not gonna do it, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I just for me, I just feel like I would have the finest doctors and just have them look me through thoroughly, man, to
Right.
see if I should go on and would let
Right.
me know what my risks are. Because at the end of the day, man, like you said, when the football is over, are you going to be able to walk? Are you going to have all your
Yeah.
faculties? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And
Right.
that to me, that's enough to make me say, hey, man, I think he should retire.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's just me. That's just
Yeah.
me. But
Right.
we about to go to these picks. Hey y'all, I'm about the phone line is about to be open. I'm about to go through these picks, these teams, these week 2 games. If y'all want to come in and put it in the chat, or if you want to come on the phone, as a matter of fact, if you want to come on the phone and say something about your team, then now will be the time. We're gonna put the phone number on the thing on the screen. And if y'all feel like, hey, look, first of all, don't come in here being long-winded. Because I'm gonna put the Sandman out for you, champ. Real talk. I'm gonna put the Sandman out for you.
Sorry, that's hilarious.
So
Yeah.
this is how we gonna do it, Phil. I got the list right here, week 2, right?
Sure.
So we just gonna go right here through the list, and we just gonna let me know who you got.
Sure.
I'm starting out with the 49ers at the Vikings. Who you got?
Oh man, I want to say Minnesota because of the last four times they play. Minnesota's beat them.
Yes.
And that's I'm going to say Minnesota. I'm probably going to be wrong, but I'm saying Minnesota on that one.
Okay, I'm taking the 49ers on this one. I
Okay.
think they know that they don't have a lot of room because there's a lot of teams that's getting better. Green Bay, all of them
You're
getting better. So I'm going with
right.
the 49ers.
Yeah, I should take the 49ers.
Yeah.
But the stats say a little bit otherwise. It's weird.
Right. Next up, the Cowboys versus the Saints. I'm going
Cow-
first on this one. I'm going with the Cowboys.
yeah, I'm going with Cowboys too. I just think the Saints, they played a really bad Carolina team, man. They're gonna be fine.
Yeah, we're gonna blow them
Hurts
out.
my heart.
That's right. That's right. Okay, the Packers versus the Colts. The Packers at home. They're at Lambeau Field. Who you got?
Colts just because Jordan Love's hurt. So yeah, I'm picking the Colts,
You
unfortunately.
know I'm circling this though. You do know I'm circling this, Phil.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right, so hold on. Let me see. Seahawks versus the Patriots. It's at not Lambeau Field. Gillette Stadium.
Gillette Stadium.
Yes.
I'll go Seahawks, but I'll go Seahawks. They should win this game, but the Patriots, they looked good last week, so I'm gonna pick Seahawks.
Okay. Before I announce this next game, I gotta get a drink of water real quick because I'm gonna get a chat a little time to keep up, man. Let me take a little spit of water, man.
No worries.
This next game is the battle of the bottom feeders in the NFC East. The Giants, the New York Giants versus the Commanders, the Washington Commanders, man. Who you got?
Just kind of like the Minnesota pick. I'm gonna pick the Giants just because for some reason Daniel Jones just has the Commanders number. For whatever reason, he keeps beating them. So I'm gonna pick Daniel Jones. It's one of the weirdest stats. He just keeps beating them. It's weird.
That's right.
He shouldn't. What he
My
does.
man Skip in the chat. What's up, Skip? Skip laughing like I don't know what.
Right.
He picking the Giants, the Seahawks, and okay, he picking the Giants and the Seahawks. I'm going with him on that one too.
I think he's picking the 49ers instead of my Minnesota pick. I don't blame you.
Yeah. I'm going, okay, the Browns and the Jaguars. I'm going with the Jaguars. They at home on this one. I'm going with the Jaguars.
They did not look good last week. Man, I want to pick the Jaguars. I'm going to pick them. I'll pick the Jaguars because Deshaun Watson just looks bad. So I'm
about to say, if we whooping up on them like that, I mean,
yeah,
they both look bad though, but I'm going with the Jaguars on this one.
Yeah, me too.
The Bucks and the Lions.
Whew.
At Ford Field. So the Lions start out with 2 home games in a row, which is a beautiful thing when you start in the season. You at home, you're getting the home cooking, you with your kids and family. I got the Lions on this one.
Yeah. Do you know the spread on that one? What's the spread?
I didn't write the spreads on it this time. Next time I'm gonna write the spread.
I'm sorry. I think it looks like it's. I'm looking at it. It looks like it's 8. I got Detroit too. I think a lot of people. I just think a lot of people don't think the Bucks are that good. I think they're better than what people think, but I still think the Lions are going to beat them.
Yeah, me too. That's who I'm going with, the Lions. Right. The Raiders coming down here to the Baltimore, Maryland. Who you got?
I'm going to pick the Ravens. I picked the Ravens. Sorry, Antonio Pierce. Like him, my man.
I like him, but I'm going with the Ravens because I think the Ravens are going to be playing harder. They know that they can't lose sight of. They still can play for home field advantage throughout the playoffs.
Right.
And I think they're going to need it. They cannot win at the Chiefs.
Yeah.
They can't.
They can't.
So I'm going with the Ravens. The Rams at the Cardinals. Can the Rams bounce back from that overtime loss? Can they bounce back? Who you got?
I got the Rams. Cardinals are sneaky good too.
Yeah, they are.
But I got the Rams in this one. I think it's gonna be a close game.
Yeah, I got that. That's why I got the Rams. The Bengals at the Chiefs.
Yeah, I think the Chiefs are going to slaughter the Bengals this time. Sorry, Bengals. I also don't think Joe Burrow, because you can see he's moving his hand like he's moving. Like obviously when you're doing physical therapy, they tell you to keep moving things that get hurt. I don't think he looks right. So, and again, they have slow starts. I think the Kansas City Chiefs are going to throttle them this time.
Yeah, I'm going with the Chiefs on that. The Pittsburgh Steelers at the Broncos. Who you got?
Steelers. Because the Steelers always have a winning record.
They do.
It's weird, man. They all, like,
even though
no
they
matter,
kicked 6 field goals last week, I
right,
think
they win weird games. So they're gonna win this game. There's games that you're gonna look like, how do they win? This is one they're gonna win this game. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Broncos on this one.
Yeah.
And I think the Steelers, they still I don't know if I want to say quarterback controversy. They still don't know who they want to be their quarterback. And I think until they do that, I think that's when the team is going to be able to go on to the next and start winning some real games. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Until then, because you got to think the quarterback changes, but the other positions don't. They need to know that they got that person in there that's going to be their guy.
Yeah, totally agree.
So I'm going with the Broncos. The Bears at the Texans. Now, this one's a little bittersweet for me because I'm going with the Texans. But the Texans, they are in Texas.
Yeah.
Where my team, Cowboys, that boy CJ, he the real deal,
That's
man.
truth. Yeah,
and
he's
the fact
good.
that they picked up Diggs, right? And the
Yeah,
offseason wide receiver Diggs.
Yep.
I'm gonna go with the Texans on this one. That's what I'm going with the Texans. I think that's gonna help them.
Yeah, that's easy. This is the Texans. The Bears' offense is horrible at the moment. Once Caleb Williams can figure some things out, they'll be a little bit different. But I'm picking the Texans.
Yeah, and it's funny how this works, right? I picked the last game, and that's your team. The guy Skip, he's the Eagles fan too.
Right.
The Falcons at the Eagles. Who do you got?
Oh, the Eagles, of course. Yeah, it's an easier matchup than what was last week, and I think Kirk Cousins also, speaking of being hurt, I think he's still hurt too. He was playing in the pistol like almost every snap, and he usually plays under the gun, like not the gun. Sorry, he plays like under center most of the time with his play action passing. So if he can't do that, then the Eagles are just going to tee off on him, unfortunately. So yeah, it's the Eagles.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Eagles, even though I don't want them to win. They're gonna be 2-0. I'm gonna go with the Eagles. I learned how to bet with my mind and not my heart. You know what I'm saying? And that's got me where I'm at right now. You know what I'm saying? In the catbird seat. You know. That's right, man. Oh man, hey Phil, this has been a blast, man. Talking football on Sunday morning, right before the game. I ain't even gonna hold y'all today because usually I'm long-winded. I ain't about to hold y'all because I got to go get ready to get ready for the game. The game's about to come on in like 26 minutes. Phil, is there anything you got to say before you leave, man?
No, thanks for having me. Good luck to your Cowboys. Hey, if you want me on at some point again, I'm definitely down with that, especially when the Cowboys and Eagles play. I'm down with that. We can, talk.
Man,
talk
I already wrote that down. You must not do nothing but come here on the Live of Light Skin Lou show and chop it up with us on Sunday morning. NFL with Light Skin Lou and the crew. Even though I only got one person with me, it's all good. I had a blast talking with you, man. My last words is thank you everybody for coming in today. Lit up the chat. My man Skip, War Machine, everybody showed up today as promised. It's always a pleasure talking football on Sunday morning. Now it's the noon. We get ready to watch the games. Lovely Kiki came through. Kiki, thank you again. I know she listening somewhere. Thank you again. Always got words before I leave. Phil.
Sure.
Stay humble. Stay hungry and always live your life to the fullest because tomorrow is not promised to you. Thank you guys for coming through. My man Cineo just came through. Bang, bang, 49ers fan. I picked y'all to beat the Vikings. Phil didn't. He going to have to answer to you next time you see you on the chat.
I probably will.
That's right. I already know. But no, thank you guys for coming in. And we will see you guys next Sunday at 11:30. Will Phil be here? I don't know. If he's not busy, I would love to have him back on. And we will see you guys next Sunday, same time, same place. We out of here. Peace.
Yeah. Nah, no profit. Yo, where you at? Where you at? My homie Lou on the mic. Them other hosts need to stop. They ain't doing it right. If you ain't turned in the Lou, what you doing with your life? Conversation so sharp, it ain't your usual night. We got athletes, entrepreneurs, even celebrities. Politicians discuss nationwide discrepancies. Hardcore tackling issues in our community. Spreading on knowledge, creating an opportunity. Tune in live with Liteskin Lou. Tune in live with Liteskin Lou. Tune in live with Liteskin Lou. Tune in live with Liteskin Lou.
Liteskin Lou. Liteskin Lou.